Hey, I'm Paul Rabley here. I'm an estate planning attorney, have been so for 28 years, and I want to talk about how can attorneys attract estate planning law clients. So really, a lot is written and said about growing a professional services or a law practice, and when you boil it all down, to have a growing, thriving law practice, in particular an estate planning practice, you have to be able to do three things well. You have to be able to attract ideal prospective clients to your office. You have to be able to retain those clients once they've been attracted to your office. And then you have to serve those clients really, really well. You master those three things, you'll have an incredible practice. I want to focus today, though, merely on one small part of the attraction piece of attract, retain, and serve. And so what I'll focus on today is what are some of the free things that you can do as an attorney that will enable you with effort and patience to start attracting ideal prospective clients. And this will work for any attorney, whether they just passed the bar, whether they've perhaps been a litigation attorney for many years and they're tired of that rat race. Maybe they're kind of a struggling estate planning attorney and they want to take their practice, to the next several levels. So really just going to focus on, what's the free stuff that you can do, because quite frankly, most attorneys, and in particular estate attorneys who may be watching this video because they want to learn how to get more clients, they don't have any money to spend on marketing. So the thought of being able to employ some of these client attraction concepts for free could be appealing. So really what I want to focus on is creating content that has value, and all this stuff is free. And when I say free, maybe when you look at all the different forms and all the different platforms, maybe you'll have spent less than $100 and one time, and then forever you can keep creating free marketing content. So there's really just a couple of kinds of free marketing content. There's basically the written word and there's the spoken word. And then when the spoken word, you've got live speaking, you've got video speaking, and you've got audio, speaking. Podcasts are becoming popular. A lot of the mistakes that some attorneys say is, Paul, I got that client attraction thing covered because I got a website. Who doesn't have a website? And having a website is kind of like in the old days, having your name in the telephone book. It's not these days going to attract clients. So having a website is just the basics. But you need to have a website, and those are free now. You get your domain name, and through services like WordPress, free, or some of these other paid services, maybe a couple of $100 a month. That make it easier for you to build your own website and add content to it on a regular basis. You can get your website, but just simply having a website, that's not going to do it. The real key to client attraction comes when you systematically, periodically create valuable content that your ideal prospects out there want to see. So let me give you an example. Yesterday I pulled out my smartphone and I attached, because you got to have my little $20 lapel mic right into the smartphone, made a video yesterday about how people who have wills and want to make changes shouldn't handwrite those changes on their existing wills. There's a lot of validity and other problems with that. So I made a 3 or 4 minute video. I then, in fact, prior to that, to really hone my video speaking skills, I made a podcast. And so really just spoke, and prior to that, I did my research. So all that's necessary, did my research, made the audio podcast, and then I was prepared to make the YouTube video where I had practiced it a couple of times by doing the podcast, and all the information was outlined because I had done my research. Made my video, then I posted my video to YouTube. While that was posting, I typed in the YouTube description a summary of the key points that I made while making the YouTube video. I copied that description and the YouTube video and put it on my website as a blog post. Also put the written and video description on my LinkedIn page. Also put the video and written description on my Facebook company or law firm page. So was able to create one really piece of content and use it over several different forms and several different platforms. And all that was free. Didn't cost a penny. And the key is it's my content. I'm not buying content that other people have written to put on my website. Now, as people search, they see a little bit about my personality, and I'm certainly not violating any copyright or other issues by copying and pasting other people's work. So that's one way to create a bunch of free content. But I got to warn you, don't do it once. Don't do it 3 times. Don't do it 10 times. My suggestion to you, over the next 4 months, create one piece of content every day. And then plaster it out on the websites, the blogs, the YouTube, the LinkedIn, the Facebook. And if you do it for 4 months, and 4 months will go by like that, then you'll have over 100 pieces of value-driven content that once people start Googling, their questions, or they go to YouTube and do a search. YouTube's the second largest search engine behind Google. Then all your stuff's gonna pop up, and it's not just plastering your name and number. It's not just call Fred at 222-2222. That doesn't work, particularly in the estate planning legal services. You have to provide tremendous value, show your credibility, show your expertise, show your personality, show that you're able to help those ideal prospective clients, and creating all of that written content, video content, audio content is going to be the key. So 4 months, 100 times. Is it going to require that you put out some effort? You bet it is. In fact, you're going to have to put out some effort when you're not feeling like putting out any effort. Maybe you had a long day with clients, and maybe an irate client or whatever, and it's the end of the day, and last thing you want to do is keep working. But this is really, really important work, and you have to be consistent, and you have to be patient. But if you do it for 4 months and create over 100 pieces of content, I can virtually guarantee you that that content will create some ideal prospective client opportunities for you, either during that 4-month period or subsequent to that 4-month period. A couple of other things that are free, and if you're really on your game, you'll create all that content in a way that you can put that together in a book format. And so, for example, here's my book. And not only is it free, you get paid. These days with technology, Amazon's CreateSpace Kindle program enables you to just create that content, send it to Amazon or CreateSpace or Kindle. I think there's some name changing going on there. And then they take the orders, do all the printing, do all the stuff, and they just send you a royalty payment every month based on how many books you sold. And so when I first wrote my book 10 years ago, I remember having to write a check for like $15,000 to get all these books printed so that I could sell them. That doesn't happen anymore. I get a check every month from Amazon or a direct deposit in my bank account. And Amazon does all of the work. So another, great way to provide value, doesn't cost anything, differentiates you from your competition. So that's a few of the free content items that you can create. Don't get scared of the technology. Embrace the technology. Anything you want to do, you can Google it or YouTube it, for lack of a better term, and get real good instruction on how to do all of these things that we've been talking about today. 3 things I want you to do. 1, go to the comments and give me some good, honest feedback on some of this just easy, maybe free ways to start attracting clients. Hit the like button and then subscribe to the channel where you'll get more good stuff. Have a great day.